Hi students, welcome to today's class. Today we are going to see working with functions, that is chapter 3 in your Python lesson, and then scope of variables. Under working with functions we are going to see scope of variables. Till now we have seen up to composition topic. So you can go through in your textbook all these completed topics. You should go through whenever you get free time, otherwise you will able to forget every topics whatever we have covered. So now we are going to see one new topic, that is scope of variables in working with functions. Okay, so what is meant by scope? Actually, scope is referring to a part of a program within which a name is legal and accessible is called the scope of the name or a variable. So name here means what? What is meant by name? Name is nothing but it's an identifier or a variable only. So whatever variable you are using in a program like num1, num2, a, b, c, like that, some variable names we will write, no? So that name only is known as variable, or we will call it as name or identifier. So the scope of variable or scope of argument or parameter. Okay, so how we can define a part of a program, that is a part of program within which a name is legal and accessible. See here, a part of the program within which a name is going to be used or accessed. Okay, accessing means what? We can read the value, we can make use of the value, we can write the value in that. Okay, we can edit the value in that. Okay, so that is only known as accessible in computer term. So part of a program within which, so which part of the program we can use that name of the variable, or the variable name is legal one, is called the scope of the name. So let us see some with some examples, real-time scenarios also we will discuss related to the term scope. Okay, the scope rules of a language are the rules that decide in which part of the program scope. Why we need to go for the scope rules? Because we need to know in which part of the program a particular piece of code or data item, see, particular piece of code or data item would be known. So one particular piece of code, that is programming code, or any value only known as data item. Okay, so any data item or a particular piece of code would be known and can be accessed therein. So in which part it is going to be known to everyone, and which part it is going to be accessed, from which part we can access it. To understand the scope, let us consider real life situation. Suppose you are touring a historical place with many monuments. So you are going to go for a tour for visiting historical places with many monuments. So if you want to visit a monument, you have to buy a ticket. Say you buy a ticket, let us call it ticket 1, okay, to go and see a monument A. As long as you are inside the monument A, your ticket 1 is valid. But the moment you come out of the monument A, the validity of the ticket 1 is over. So you cannot use ticket 1 to visit any other monument. To visit monument B, you have to buy another ticket, say ticket 2. We can say that the scope of ticket 1 is monument A and the scope of ticket 2 is what? Monument B. That is, ticket 1 is valid only to visit, only to see the monument A. In the same way, the scope of ticket 2 is only for visiting monument B. So with the help of ticket 2, we cannot see monument A. With the help of ticket 1, we cannot see monument B. That is only known as scope here. So say, to promote tourism, okay, the government has also launched a city-based ticket, that is ticket 3. A person having city-based ticket can visit all the monuments in the city. So we can say that the scope of ticket 3 is the whole city. That means whatever monuments are available inside that city, everything can be accessed or visited by any person. Okay, if he buys ticket 3, okay, so all the monuments within the city, including monument A and monument B, any person can visit. So now let us understand the scope in terms of Python. That is, in programming terms, we can say that the scope refers to part of the program within which a name is legal and accessible. So like a ticket 1 and ticket 2, no, it is accessible only inside that, inside one monument only it is going to be used, the ticket. So if you go to another monuments, it is not a valid one, illegal one. So in the same way, in Python also, the name of the Python, that is the, name of the scope of the name or scope of the variable is limited to only some particular area. So we will see, let us see, there are broadly two kinds of scopes in Python. So there are how many kinds of scopes in Python? Only two. So one is global scope, another one is local scope. Global in the sense a name or a variable which is declared in the top level statement. What is meant by top level statement? It is main program. So that will be always top level statements will be starting from the edge of the program, as we have seen in the Python interpreter. When we are typing it in script mode, so we need to start typing from the edge only, so that kind of statements only, top level statements, that is the main part of the program. So when you are when the name is declared in the top level segment of the program, it is said to have a global scope, and it is going to be used, that name is usable inside the whole program. Like ticket 3, here we can use this global variable can be used inside the entire program. Okay, not only inside the function, for the whole program that global variable is going to be accessed or used. And all the blocks also, like functions and other blocks contained within the program can use this global variable. So a name which is declared in the top level statement, that is main part of the program, is said to have a global scope, and it is usable inside the whole program. And all the blocks, that is like functions, other blocks contained within the program, is can be we can use it. Okay, so compare with real life example given above. So already we have discussed, we can say that ticket 3 has a global scope within a city, as it is usable in all the blocks within the city. So next we are going to see local scope. Local in the sense a name or a variable which are declared in the function body. Let me see some of the examples related to local scope and also global scopes. Then you will understand in a better way. So a name which is declared in a function body is said to have a local scope. That is, it can be used only within the function, within that function, and other blocks contained under that function. Okay, so under that function, whatever blocks are there, in that blocks also this name variable value is going to be used, or variable is going to be used. Okay, so the names of formal arguments also have a local scope. So you know what is meant by formal arguments. Formal arguments means it will be written in the definition of function, and then inside the function only that arguments are going to be used. So the names of formal arguments that also have a local scope. So we can compare this local scope variable with our already discussed one real life example, that is ticket 1 and ticket 2 is an example for this local scope variable. Okay, so compare with real life example given above, we can say that ticket 1 and ticket 2 have local scopes within monument A and monument B respectively. That is, a local scope can be multi-level. There can be an enclosing local scope also, having nested local scope of an inside block. So that means inside the function we can have another block also. So that inside the block also that local variable can be used. Okay, if it is nested, it can be used inside that block. Okay, so a function within another function is declared means we can use it as use that local variable inside that another nested block also. All this would become clear to you in the coming section. That is, we will see first example, scope example. That is, consider the following Python program. So totally 7 lines code is there. That is in order to find out the sum of two numbers only, addition of two numbers. So here you can able to differentiate which is formal argument, actual argument, which is function and all. See here, this is only the first line is there now in the program. Okay, so DEF calc sum of x comma y. So this x comma y is known as formal argument. Okay, this is known as function. Calc sum is known as function. So DEF is a definition of function. Okay, and then z is equal to x plus y. It's a statement which is executable statement which is used inside the function calc sum, and return z will return the final answer, okay, to the main program. So where the main program starts, in fourth line only. See, in fourth line you can look at this indentation here. So DEF nearby, actually these four statements, that is line number 4, 5, 6, 7 has started in the margin itself. Okay, so when you are typing this program, you need to type in the same manner only, without these numbers, line numbers. We need to type this entire program. So here only we have 4 spaces. These two statements, that is line 2 and line 3, belongs to this function calc sum. Okay, statement 1 and statement 2 inside the function, no, that is calc sum, belongs to that calc sum function only. Now we have outer that is main block statements. That is main statement starts at line 4. Okay, so num1 is equal to int of input of enter the first number. Num2 is equal to int of input of enter the second number. So we need to get the first number and second number from the user in order to assign the value to num1 and num2. So now we are discussing about which data type variable. So this num1 num2 is going to get the integer value only, because whatever input you are getting, that is going to be converted into integer format only. Even if you enter in the floating point format, it is going to be converted with this, the help of this type conversion int function. It is going to be converted into integer only. So integer is mutable or immutable? It is immutable. So that means whatever value we are assigning for the num2 and num1, it is not going to be changed. Even if you are assigning new value for num1 and num2, it is not going to refer the same address. It will be that new value is going to assigned in the another memory address. So that is only going to be referred by this num1 and num2 when the value of the num1 and num2 is going to be changed. That is the difference between mutable and immutable data types. So mutable data types and all, only lists and dictionaries are mutable types in our Python programming. That basic things and all you need to remember clearly. Okay, so only lists and dictionaries are mutable types. Next one is line number 6. We have sum. Sum is equal to, that is the result variable. So this num1, num2 sum are called as what? Actual. This num1, num2 are called as actual arguments. Okay. So these are going to be used inside the main function. The num1, num2, sum belongs to main program variables, and x, y, z belongs to that is function variables. Okay, so inside that function only that is going to be used, that is local variables. X, y, z are local variables. Num1, num2, sum are global variables, because that is used in the main program. So as I said earlier, line 4, 5, 6, 7 consist of forming a main program segment. Okay, so now we are going to call this function. So this is only known as function call. So you all know that how the function call is made. See, the same name we need to call it here, okay, without changing the spellings. As I said earlier, function name, variable name, whatever names, identifier names you are writing in the program, that is in Python programming, everything is case sensitive only, because Python itself is a case sensitive. Small x and capital X are different. Okay, if you assign value for small x and if you are printing capital X, if something already assigned for capital X, that value will get printed. But whatever we have assigned for small x will not get printed for capital X. So there is a difference in small x and capital X. So Python will differentiate that two x in a different way. That is small x in a different way and capital X as a different variable only. It will treat small x and capital X in a different way only. It will not treat both as a same. Okay, so you need to clear that Python is a case sensitive. So you need to use wherever capital letters are used, the same name only you need to repeat here in the function call also. So when you want to call this function calcsum, the same name what you have used in the definition of the function, that is going to be used in this call also. Okay. So this statement only is known as function call statements. That is calc sum of num1 comma num2, because you need to pass the value in order to do addition, okay, in the function. So calc sum of num1 comma num2, that is assigned to sum now. Okay, whatever result we got from this calc sum function, that is returned here in this subprogram, that is in main function, that is calc sum function or subprogram. So that only is going to be assigned to sum here at the end. Okay, so now line 5, 6 are going to be, that 6 is going to be executed, that is calc sum. Now it is returning to z is equal to x plus y, and then return z will return the value of z here, and that z is copied to sum now. Now 7th line, the sum is going to be printed. So you can careful look on the program. Let's tells that there are 3 variables num1, num2, and sum defined in the where main program, and 3 variables x, y, z are defined in the function calcsum. Okay, so as per the definition given above, num1, num2, sum are global variables and x, y, z are local variables. Sometimes in a question, no, you may get a program like this. They may ask which variables are local variables, which are global variables. If you know clearly only, you will be able to find out which are global and here which are local variables. So whatever variables we are using in the function, that is going to be called as local variables, because that is valid, that is legal one, and it is accessible one only within that function. When it is coming out of that function, okay, so that variables cannot be, or is not going to be used in the outer part, that is in global part. So whatever variables we are using in the main segment of the program, that is num1, num2, some are here called as global variables. I think now you are clear with global and local variables. They have given the detailed explanation in your book in a pictorial format also. Let us see that format also in order to understand this topic in a better way. So let us now see how there would be different scope for variables. Scopes means what? Limit, where we can use it, with which part only it is allowed or used. That scopes, no, we can see how it would be different scopes for variables in this program by checking the status of after every statement executed. So we can check what the values, the variables, no, which values it is holding and which memory address it is referring. Everything we will see after executing every statement of this given 7 lines of code. Okay, so we will check the status as per the flow of execution of the above program. You know what is meant by flow of execution? The order in which the program statements are going to be executed only is known as flow of execution. So in which order, whether first line number 1 is executed, or 2 is executed, or 3, then 3 after which line we need to execute. So that order only, the flow of execution means what? The order of execution in the given program only known as flow of execution. So at line 1, so initially when the Python is starting executing the program, first it will go and check the first line only. So line 1, define encountered, and lines 2 and 3 are ignored. So define calsum encountered, then line 2, 3 is going to be ignored. When it says definition, then it will understand automatically that it is not a main part of the program. So automatically it will go to 4th line, that is main 1. Execution begins and global environment is created. So what global environment uh, created? In that global environment, and num1 variable, no, we will assign the value. Num1 is added to this environment, because in the 4th statement num1 is created. So the build, that variable is build now. So building means what? We, after we assign the value, that variable will get built. Okay, now in the 5th line, num2 is getting built. That means that is main part second statement. Okay, main program second statement. Num2 is also added to the global environment. And then line 6, calc_sum is going to be invoked. So local environment for calc_sum is created. There is formal arguments x and y are created in the local environment, because num1, num2 you are passing in this, passing here. See here, num1, num2 you are passing here. So the values of num1, num2 are copied to where? Copied to this x and y. See this x and y, that num1, num2 is going to be copied. So in the next picture, you will understand that inside the global environment, we have local environment. So this local environment is depending on this global environment variables only, variables values only. So you know x is referring num1 and y is referring num2. So x and y will take the values of will be taking the values of num1 and num2. So 3 and 7 are going to be used in the local environment. Okay, so when which line is executed? When line 6 in the main tree is executed, calc_sum is invoked. So local environment for calc_sum is created. For formal arguments x and y are created in the local environment. So this two pictures you can understand that two oval shapes. Okay, one is for the big oval for global environment, and the small oval shape is used to indicate the local environment, that is for calc_sum function, and global environment for what? Main program. Now line 2 at the calc_sum is going to be executed. So z is equal to x plus y is performed. So variable z is created in the local environment. See here, in the local environment, z is now having the value of what? After adding x and y, 3 plus 7 will return the value 10 to z. Okay, so now it will be returning. So now calc_sum is getting over. So value of z is returned to caller, which statement called, to that caller. The return ends the function. Hence, after sending the value of z, not s here, it is z. Okay, just change it. If s is mentioned in your book, just change it as z here. Okay, So sending the value of z to caller in variable sum. So sum will have now hold the value 10, and the local environment is removed, and so are all its constituents. So whatever local environment values and its answers, no, all these are going to be removed, okay, from the global environment. So now the only global environment is available when it is returning to line 7, that is main statement, main fourth statement when it is getting executed, that is line number 7 when it is getting executed. The print statement picks the value of sum from its own environment, that is from its global environment. Now in line number 8, program is over. Now global environment is also removed with the end of the program. So now this lifetime of that variable also we will discuss in the next few pages. After we will discuss what is going to be lifetime of a variable also. Now we have discussed about scope of the variable, that is which part of the program that name of the variable, name of the scope of the name or scope of the variable is valid or legal or accessible one. It is only known as scope. Okay, so as you can see from the above that the scope of names, no, num1, num2 and sum is global. Scope of names x, y, z are local. Okay, so now variables defined outside all the functions are called global variables. So let us see example for that also. The variables can be defined, these variables, that is the global variables, no, can be defined even before all the function definitions. See, if you have one function definition like this, if you define another function definition here, so before all these function definitions, if you are writing some variables with some values, no, those variables are known as what? Global variables. Okay, so variables defined outside all the functions are called global variables. So these variables can be defined even before all the function definitions. So this is only known as function definitions. Before all the function definitions, these variables can be used. So here variable x is defined above all the functions. It is also a global variable along with y and z. Okay, so along with x, no, we have another two global variables also here in this program, that is y and z. Okay, y and z has also having two global variables, and y and z are also called as global variables only. Next example, so this you just look at it. We are going to find out the average also. That is in this 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th statement. If you look at here, these are called main program segments. So here num1, after line 1 and line 4 got executed, automatically the program flow no will come to line number 7. So it will get number 1, number 2, number 3 values, and then in the line number 10, in line number 10, no, it is going to print the average of these numbers, that is average of the function call is made for average, so it will automatically go to line number 4. So after line number 4, line number 5 when it comes, no, this num1, num2, num3 are copied to x, y, z here in line 4 itself. So this values, no, with along with num1, num2, num3 copied values of x, y, z. Okay, so that is num1, num2, num3 are copied here to x, y, z. That is also passed here with when function call is made. That is some function call is made. No, these values are also going to be passed here. Okay, so now x, y, z are copied to where? ABC. Okay, so like that the flow of execution will takes place. Now let us see the detailed explanation also. Okay, so internally the global and local environments will be created as per the flow of execution. So according to the flow of execution only, the global environment and the variables, what values it is holding, everything is going to be assigned internally itself. Okay, as per the flow of execution only. So at line number 1, DEF encountered, that is line 2 and 3 is ignored. Then it go to line number 4. Okay, their average definition is encountered. Line 5 and 6 are ignored. Okay, now it go to line number 7, that is main part of the program. So execution of main program begins. So num1 is created in a global environment. Okay, it is going to be added to the global environment. At line number 8 and 9, if you execute, num2 and num3 also going to be added to the global environment. It is having the value 3, 7 and 5. So at main 4, that is function average is going to be called. So immediately when the function call is made for average function, immediately the local environment for that function average is created here, and along with the variables, that is formal variables, x, y, and z with the same values of num1, num2, and num3. Okay, it is called as local environment. So these arguments are known as formal arguments. X, y, z are known as here formal arguments. Where it is used inside the function. When the arguments are used inside the main program, that is known as actual arguments. Okay, and then at line number, see here, when line number 11 is going to be executed, okay, 11 is going to be executed, calcium is invoked. So local environment for calcium is created, nested within the local environment of average. So this is the nested function, because inside this average only we have called this calcium. So this calcium is called from inside where? From average function. So that inside global environment we have local environment average, inside we have another local environment calcium. So this example is an example for nested functions. Okay, so its formal arguments like a, b, c is also created here, the same value 375, because all these are copying from where? From the global environment only. So the calcium values and the average function, both are copied values from the global environment values num1, num2, num3 only. So now calcium first statement, first 7 line 1 is executed. So variable is created with the local environment calcium, that is ABC is created here, and line 2 at calcium, S is equal to A plus B plus C is created, that is 3 plus 7, 10, 10 plus 5, 15 is assigned for S here. Okay, after executing line number 2. So value of S is returned to SM of average and calcium is over. So calcium, when it is removed, the SM value 15 no, is going to be assigned, sorry, S value 15 is going to be assigned to SM, and then this calcium environment is removed. See, this third circle is going to be removed here. Only we have two circles here. One is for average function. The calcium function is got over at line number 2. So calcium is removed. That is local environment, calcium is removed. Now at line number 6. So the return value is calculated as SM by 3. That is 15 by 3 is 5.0. Okay. So normally this division is known as see, the double slash views only, that is known as integer division. So it will return the value as floating point value only, because the normal slash, it will return answer in the form of floating point only. So 5.0 we have got now for the result. What? For the resultant variable SM. Okay, SM we got the answer. Sorry, yes, we got the answer as 5.0. Okay, so average is over. So its local environment is also going to be removed here at this place. Okay, now this is going to be printed in the main program. So print statement receives the computed value 5.0, prints it, and program is over. So with this, the global environment of the program also will also be removed. So after we removed local environment of calcium and average, finally when the program is getting over, global environment is also going to be removed. Okay. So here we want to introduce another term, that is lifetime of a variable. So what is meant by lifetime of a variable? It is the time for which a variable lives in a memory. So for which time? The time for which a variable lives in a memory. So how long that variable is going to be lives in a memory. Okay, for global variables, lifetime of the memory is entire program run. Okay, so the lifetime of variable will be what? For global variables, when the program is getting over. Okay, so when the entire program run is getting over, the global variable lifetime is getting over. Okay, so they live in the memory as long as the program is running. And for local variables, the lifetime is their functions running time. So when the function is running time is getting over, the time that local variables lifetime is also getting over. As long as their function is being executed, the lifetime will be lifetime of a variable will be there in the memory. Okay, so the variable will be available in the memory. Okay, so now next concept, name resolution, that is resolving the scope of a name. Okay, so how based on the local scope and global scope, how the names are going to be resolved. So it is going to use, Python is going to use one rule. That rule is known as, okay, name resolution rule. It is going to follow, that is known as LEGB rule. Okay, LEGB rule. So L for local environment, E for enclosing environment, G for global environment, and B for built-in environment. So like that, for environment, it is going to check, it is going to be referred when a variable is when a variable is called, or when a variable is called in a program. So that variable's value, it need to refer. Okay, it need to get. Okay, Python needs to get the value of variable when it is going to be used in the calculation. So in that case, first it will refer to local environment, whether that variable with that name is available or not. Okay, and it will refer, if the variable is not available in the local environment, it will refer enclosing environment. So in that same function itself, in any other block it is available or not, it will be checked. Okay, so even if it is not there in that enclosing environment, it will go and check the global part. The global part also, if it is not there, built-in some variables will be there in the Python. So in that way, built-in part, the values are assigned for that variable, it will be checking. So if all the parts, the variable is not available, the variable name is mismatched, okay, then it will return the error, naming error, okay. So in this way only, the names are going to be resolved, okay. The scope of name is going to be resolved by this LGGB rule only. So for every name reference within the program, what is meant by reference? So it's if you know that address, if the Python knows the address of that memory only, it can able to get the value from that memory address. Yes, no. So reference means what? Address of the variable. Okay. So that is only known as reference. So for every name reference within the program, when you access the variable from within a program or a function, Python follows. So whenever any program is going to be accessed inside the main program or accessed from the function also, the Python follows name resolution rule, that is LEGP rule. That is, for every name reference, Python does the following to resolve it. First, it will checks the when within its local environment or local namespace, if it is has the variable the same name. If yes, Python uses its value. So if the variable is available in that local environment, it will use that value. If not, then it moves to step 2. So step 2, Python now checks the enclosing environment, if whether there is a variable with the same name. If yes, Python uses its value. If the variable is not found in the current environment, Python repeat this step to higher level of enclosing environments, if any other enclosing environments, if it is there in that second level, that is enclosing level, it will check that higher level also. If not available, then it moves to step 3. That is, now it checks the global environment, whether there is a variable with the same name. If yes, Python uses its value. If not, then it moves to step 4. Now it checks the built-in environment that contains all built-in variables and functions of Python. If there is a variable with the same name, if yes, Python uses its value. Otherwise, Python would report the error. So name is not defined. That is, variable is not defined. Naming error will be produced. Okay. So as you can make out, the LEGB rule means checking in the order of local. That is, first one is local namespace, and then enclosing namespace, second global, third global, and fourth is built-in environment namespaces to resolve a name reference. Okay, it is going to check in this order only. Now, first let us see case 1. Okay, whether the variable is in local global scope. We are going to see the example for case 1 for variable is available in global scope, but it is not available if the same variable will not be available in the local scope. So that kind of example we are going to see here. So now let us see the example. Define cal sum of x comma y, s is equal to x plus y, print num1, return s. These three statements belongs to cal sum function. Now main statements, num1, num2, num3. So in not num3, print statement. So in the third line of main statement, cal sum of num1, num2 is called. Here x, y, whatever value we got for num1, num2 is going to be copied to x and y. Here x and y is added. The result is assigned to s. After that, immediately num1 is getting printed. So here this variable is what variable? Global variable. Okay. It is not a local variable. So this num1, whatever value we have assigned for this num1 in this main part, that is in a global part, that value only is going to be used here in this print num. Okay, we will see with the help of diagram also, then we will understand. So variable num1 is a global variable. It is not a local variable here, because it is declared in the it is built in the main part of the program. This is main part of the program. Okay, and consider the statement 2 of the function calc sum. So this statement, that is statement 2. This is first and second statement. This is only statement 2. Okay, so statement 2 of function calc sum, carefully notice that num1 has not been created in calc sum. It is not created in calc sum, and still statement 2 is trying to print its value. It is not created, but it is trying to print the num1 value. The internal memory status at the time of execution of statement 2 of calc sum would be somewhat like what? First one, Python will first check the local environment of calc sum. Okay, that is name for naming a resolution. We are seeing this example. Python will be first checking the local environment of calc sum, whether the num1 is created here in this local environment or not. It is not found here. So it is first, it is searching here whether num1 is available here or not. First attempt. So second attempt is going and checking in the global environment. Okay. So Python now checks for num1 and the parent environment of calc sum, which is the global environment. So which is the parent environment for this local environment calc sum? This global part only. So in the global part, it is checking. There is no intermediate enclosing environment is not there for this local environment, so that it is immediately checking, going to the third step, that is it is checking the global environment. Now Python finds num1 here, so it picks the value of the num1 and prints the value in the, if the value is not available, if the variable mismatch occurs even in the global environment and built-in environment also, you will get an error. Okay. So in second case, we will see some other example. Variable, it is not available neither in local scope nor in global scope. That means in both local scope and global scope also, two are not available. The variable is not at all available in the local scope and in global scope also. So neither in local scope nor in global scope means what? In both the scopes also, local also, global also, the variable is not available. So in that case, what it will return? It will return naming error. Okay, variable is not defined. So what if the function is using a variable which is neither in local environment or nor in parent environment, that is global environment? Simple. Python will return an error. Example, Python will report error for available name, for a variable name in the following code, as it is not defined anywhere. See here, this name is not defined. This is the variable. It is not at all defined anywhere. This hello is a string. So whatever we have enclosed inside the double quotes, it is going to be printed. But when it comes to, when Python comes and execute this variable, it is not at all getting any value from the any part also. See, this define greet function inside also and main part also, it doesn't get any value for this. So it is not at all defined. If it is assigned with some value only, the variable got created already. So it is not at all created, so that it will return the error as what? Name is neither in local environment nor in global environment. That is naming error only will get printed. Okay. Now case 3, same variable name in local scope as well as in the global scope. So in both the scopes also, if the variable name is available, then what will happen? So let us see in the next video with some more topics. Okay. With this we will stop this session. So case 3, when the same variable name, if it is available in the local scope and global scope, what will happen? So what value will be returned when the same global variable name, when it is used in the local scope or when it is used in the global scope, what value it will return? So let us check it with the example. Okay. So with that you just revise the previous topics, whatever we have covered. Thank you.